Hello and welcome back to The Bastard Children of Everil at Bardoon Adventure. Previously on The Bastard Children of Everil, the next morning following Helena's exit from the group, Buddy walked in from outdoors. He had received a magical great axe from the stores of Redoran, which he immediately sold and gambled every bit of their profit away, including his clothes. Quincy gave him the extra shirt from Hong's house, and the bastards discussed their next move. The bastards decided that it would be foolish to go to the mines of Delavic, as they could inadvertently release Drescalo if they did not know what they were doing. They settled on continuing their mission from before, continue throughout the kingdom, drumming up support for Quincy to challenge Herrick for the throne. They had the guards watercall the guards from the closest town of the next province of Helicast. They received word from the small town of Hellan that there had been a string of murders occurring in the otherwise peaceful town. They packed up and received a letter from Helaena explaining that she had requisitioned them some horses, and Tilda a Shetland war pony, to travel. Then they made the 2-day journey to Hellan. During the trip, Abydan and Quincy spoke about not having Helaena around, and how it felt to be chosen by Adarine. Upon arriving in Hellan, Buddy and Tilda put on an act pretending to be prestigious inquisitors. They were shown to the house of Lord Delin Freglack and were greeted by the tiefling sheriff Quinnisod Goldhorn. Buddy guessed her entire backstory, and completely amazed, Quinnisod showed them in. Lord Freglack informed them about the victims and the witnesses, as well as the only survivor. The one survivor was a tiefling girl named Freya Krecken. Freya had not been able to speak. The only thing that she has said is, "I see him, I know who it is." The first victim was Kindy Jane, a male dwarf of 48 years old who was a blacksmith. The second, Herin Thulbright, a female elf of the age of 29 who was a seamstress. The third victim was Colic Gransor, a female human of the age of 52 who was a soldier. The fourth victim was Flight Swan, a male Aarakocra of the age of 19 who was a mail courier. The fifth was Grinda Dalit, a female turtle of the age of 80 who was a carpenter. And the last and most recent victim was Thinerish Krecken, male tiefling of the age of 37 who was a baker and Freya's father. The first witness was Atnamus, or Sam, Nuris, a female human widow. The second witness was Eric Hover, a male human guard. And the third witness was Delium Van Sporen, a male elven blacksmith. With this information, they went to the monastery where Freya and the bodies were being kept. They were met outside by Father Uniket and his assistant, Faramon. And that is where we are in The Bastard Children of Everil and Bardoon Adventure. And the story continues now.
Hey there, gang!
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Bonjour.
Hola, there it is. Someone
right.
has to say "there it is" in every intro.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
That's our new thing.
Bonjour.
All right, awesome. So you guys are directly outside of the temple. Yeah,
The monastery, yeah.
the monastery.
Oui.
Polytheistic monastery, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are currently speaking to Friar Uniket and his young assistant, Faram.
All right.
So let's go ahead and get started.
Je dois parler à des personnes responsables?
No.
Oui.
What?
I need to speak to the person in charge. The name is... Oh, sorry. I'm gonna turn everyone else like, guys, doing this voice is really hurting my throat, so...
You don't
just
have to keep doing it.
I do. I'm in character. I once saw an
yourself.
actor in Everon. His name was Daniel Day-Lewis, and he never broke character. And I'm channeling him right now. Et oui, je dois parler à personne responsable. No.
Something about responsibilities.
I need to speak to the person in charge.
Yes, it is possible to see the person in charge, and that is Friar. Yeah.
Oui.
Quincy
Seems like
will.
We're already speaking to him.
Quincy will step forward. I apologize for Inquisitor Jacques' behavior, he, again, xenophobic, he only speaks in his own language.
Ne me regarde passer dans les yeux. Do not look me in the eyes.
Oh, there it is. So, if you would be so kind as to show us to, on Lord Freglap's authority, show us to the girl Freya.
I would be happy to do it. You must understand it is late in the evening and she is likely asleep.
Well, maybe we could still glean something from this.
Well, you see, did I ask you if she was awake or not? No. I simply have to see her.
That is true, Inquisitor. My apologies, Inquisitor.
Oh, oui.
We indeed. Maybe
Very
still
well.
speak to her.
Very, very well.
Yes. Je suis retenu dans ces voies à déterre. Let us go.
Chaz, you can't say that on a podcast.
I said I'm being held hostage in this recording. Save me, listener.
Like I
You
said,
can't.
our contract forbids that.
Listeners, that was just a joke on the part of our friend here. No one is being held.
We're in a
accountable.
warehouse somewhere. It's 3 a.m.
Non, ce ne sont pas les sons.
I've not rigged this podcast to be some sort of Saw game. Not
All
at
right.
all.
So, question. Let me. I need a picture in my mind's eye. Let me close my eyes. How big is this monastery? What type of color stone is it? Are there thick
Cobble.
wooden doors?
As you all enter into the monastery, you're able to see that there is. It's not a very large monastery. There are at least. You have your ground floor, then you have your upper floor. But you do notice a doorway that is sort of slatted, where you can see that there's stairs that would lead down underneath. The monastery is generally well lit. You know, there's torches around, there's chandeliers, this, that, and the other. Gives off a sort of pale hue to the surrounding area because most of the walls are a much darker granite type rock. And yes, there are thick wooden doors that you have to pass through. You all are led to a staircase that leads upwards to where Freya is being kept.
Are there many people within the monastery?
It's undetermined at this point just because it's so late in the evening.
Sure.
Yes, but of course, as you can see by the thick granite walls and the doors, that a scream in here may not be heard from the outside. We might be stumbling into the scene of possible crime, no?
Well, I don't suppose he actually said where the victims were found, did he?
I'm just saying that it is possibly that we might have something in here, no?
On
Oh
that
God,
note-
it hurts my voice so much. But that must stand character.
I have given up on that character.
On that note,
Unicat will. Do you say this, Jacques, to Father Unicat, or no?
No, I stage whisper it to Quincy.
Oh, okay,
About-
very good.
About the possible crime scene?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, but of course there is a small percent chance that we are dealing with how you say foul play, chicken play.
Father, I have a question that might be of some use to this investigation.
Please, Jean-Claude, please.
Oh yeah, sorry. We what religions are here or worshipped here? You said it was a polytheistic monastery? There are any
Yes,
specific
we
ones?
welcome all religions here.
All
Okay.
religions, even the evil ones, yeah? No?
What really would be an evil religion?
Mormonism.
Oh,
The one led
I
by
was gonna
Jeff
s-
Warren specifically.
I can say that I was the best man in a Mormon wedding once upon a
I was
time.
going
can
to
say
say-
that.
Well,
What?
haven't
Father, were the victims of these murders of the same religion, or were they worshippers of different religions here? Did you find any commonalities? Because there are some fundamentalist freaks who will do things just like my adopted parents. They will go out of their way to hurt people. So I just wanted to know.
yes.
We.
Yes, of course, I have seen all the victims in passing through the town, but no, none of them, as far as I am aware, share any sort of religious association with one another.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Jean-Claude, you can take the lead again. Thank you.
You're Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude. I'm Jean-Claude.
Oh, Jean-Claude.
Oh,
No.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Abaddon had something
I think
too.
Tilda also is still sipping the flask.
Il s'est confident facilement, no?
Abaddon had something too.
Yeah, Avidin, what you got?
Can I just use divine sense real fast to make sure this place is still consecrated? Because if there's been violence or bloodshed that would desecrate the consecrated church, I would know.
Yeah, absolutely. Divine sense. Boom. Yeah, it's still consecrated.
Abaddon will then speak up to Inspector Jacques. Inspector, according to my senses, this place is still consecrated, so no blood has been spilt on this level. least-
But of course, because you would have what we call secret passages and chambers, no?
It's not really a good monastery without them. In my
Precisely.
The most likely place to commit a crime would be the wine cellar.
Yes, because you know these religious types, they are always drunks, no?
That is the vibe that I'm getting from Abaddon.
His wineskin is always full.
And his-
That's
And his wineskin, where he's complaining, is also always full, if you know what I mean. Oh, that is a little bit of Inspector humor for you, Father. You can borrow that if you wish.
Father, I would like to be shown to Miss Freya, if it's okay with you.
as would I.
Yes, certainly. Please come up with me this stairwell. And as far as what Inquisitor Jacques was saying, we do not have any secret passageways or anything of the sort. And as to what Abaddon was saying, there is not quite a wine cellar. Unfortunately, it is actually being used as a morgue currently.
The perfect place to kill someone, the morgue. Where would you expect to find a dead body? The morgue. And of course, you do not have any secret passages or chambers. I wink.
I wouldn't.
Le wink.
I speak to the assistant. If Father Unicat is going to be, preoccupied with the inspector, you could always show us to the room.
Oh no, they are both actively leading you guys up.
Okay, great.
We're walking and talking.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
you're just having a casual conversation
We've
about
been in the
murder
room the
as you're
whole
going.
time, just outside the door. Weird.
We've been
You
there
guys
the
make it up
whole
to
time.
you guys make it up to the stair or make it up the stairs, and outside there is a large wooden door that seems to lead into a bunch of different bed chambers where other people would be sleeping who would be attending to the monastery. And again, Father Unicat will go ahead and issue you to the last room down at the very far end. It's used as sort of like a medical bay in some ways. That's especially what it's being used for here. And there is a singular guard of the town who is standing there at the door, making sure that nobody comes in or anything like that. But you all are able to make it down that corridor, that hallway, and you're able to approach the guard there at the end of the hall, and Father Unicat will go ahead and just issue a solemn nod and will ask him to move out of the way, in which he does. Then you guys will be ushered into Freya's room. Now, Freya's room is made mostly out of wood. There is a single bed here in this room. It's very tight quarters in there. Like the four of you and the two monks will barely be able to squeeze in. It's pretty tight.
Ce n'est pas quatre saisons, no? Sorry, I meant to say, this is no 4 seasons, no?
No, it is not.
It is not, yes, oui.
Is she currently sleeping?
Yes.
Quincy, go.
I cast
Go poke her.
detect thoughts.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Do it at the same time.
Detect
Get the same information.
Because why not?
Wait, if we both read each other's thoughts and we're reading it, what happens?
Well, detect thoughts, it senses all thoughts in an area, and then you can pry into one specific person's mind.
At least I'm safe inside my mind.
Alone.
Yes, but of course. And my eyes roll back in the back of my head.
Oh,
buddy,
God.
buddy.
As
I'll save my detect thoughts for now.
I am in my mind palace like in season 3 of Sherlock,
Oh,
no?
Of who now?
Yeah, oui.
I've heard his name is Sherlock Holmes, a famous detective.
Yes, Sherlock Maisons.
The
What
great
does
mouse
Buddy
detective.
get?
Buddy,
That's
whose
home
thoughts
friend.
are you going into?
The Freyas.
Okay, just making sure. Just wanted to...
I'm gonna cast it for introspection, and I want to know a little more about myself.
That's interesting.
No, you just the surface thoughts of Tilda is, I really just can't do a good elf French accent, and I don't know.
Before I go
very
to, I'm just gonna pat the Tilda like, you will get there one day, no?
No.
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 No. That was
Takes
the
a
saddest-
sip of my flask. No.
That was such a sad French Canadian woman voice. No.
I cannot
All
even
right,
be
awesome.
French Canadian.
Freya currently does not have any like her surface level thoughts and her deeper thoughts are going to be the same. She is actively dreaming. Freya is dreaming about walking through a meadow of some sorts, one that she has likely visited near here. Again, you guys passed through the forest, made it into the plains area, that sort of stuff. So that's about as surface level as what I can get you now. The deeper thoughts, it's a relatively calm scene, but it is very clearly putting her on edge.
Because I'm casting this through the telepathic feat, I am going to try to speak to her.
Okay.
Hello. If you can understand me, I would really appreciate it if you could look up, do something in acknowledgement right now.
She jumps up. She starts away.
Don't.
Mm.
Oh, so don't worry. I am a friend. I am a friend. I am here to help you. I'm gonna ask something here because I'm telepathic, but also because I have the cantrips of minor illusion and prestidigitation. Could I possibly use that as can I cast an illusion of myself in her dream?
With minor illusion, sure.
It's a 5-foot cube, and I am around 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
So a 5-foot version of Henry Cavill appears in front of her. Hello, my name is Buddy Luckyhands, and this is Nantucket,
Henry
and a
Cavill
little.
as the Witcher. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Needed the specific.
But he's 5 feet
Yeah,
tall
just really
because
short.
it's a 5-foot cube.
Continue.
And then a little Nantucket appears in my hands, but he has abs.
Is it proportional, or is it just scaled down to 5 feet?
No, it's Henry Cavill scaled down to 5 feet. And I'm here to investigate things that have been happening around here. And my main purpose, my main drive is to help people right now, and I want to help you.
She is actively awake. Like, she started awake. You did hear me say
Oh,
that,
in
right?
the, like, real life?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that. I'm sorry.
You just minor illusion.
I thought I was
Over
I'm
your
putting
own
her in a dream. So yeah, Henry Cavill is here in front of me. I'm
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
It's getting really
Right.
crowded in here. What's this?
This child, she's awake. No, has she been awake yet?
Yes, she has been awake to take her meals, but other than that, not really.
I'm gonna switch the detect thoughts to the father.
Okay.
And I'm. Do I push deep?
Why not?
Never trust a man in cloth.
Yeah. So make a wisdom save of 14 for me. Oh, he's a.
I
good wisdom.
I certainly will.
He's a.
That is
If all
a
goes wrong, I will make a scene. Start crying about not being able to be a good French person. Cries in French.
Well, you got a 5.
total 5. Yeah.
Total 5. Okay. What is Papa thinking?
I didn't like that. He's
He's a father.
Yeah, I got it. I didn't like it. He is thinking that that this is odd that she woke up so sudden, because again she's been rather lethargic since being brought in this morning. But overall, just generally surprised, not with ill intention from there moving forward.
Quincy will kneel next to the bed. I mean, Freya's eyes are open. Are they just blankly staring?
Wide with shock and surprise, but you
But
can
she's
see
able
that
to, like-
tears are welling up out of her. But yes, she is able
Okay.
to look around.
Okay. I will kind of lean closer and say, Miss Freya, I believe. I am, first off, incredibly sorry that you've had to go through this. Is there anything that you can give us to help us catch the person who did this to you and the others?
You're met by a long moment of silence where she does just begin staring off into space.
Are you able to speak at all? Is there anything that we can do for you?
Once again, you are met with the same silence.
Well, it does appear that she can respond to some things, maybe just not verbally.
Any
Have you...
thoughts ticking?
Any thoughts ticking from her?
Yeah, when he asked that.
Yeah. You're able to see that Freya is able to get an amount of a memory, and that is of the darkened roadway outside of her house, where she is staring down, looking at her father's lifeless body as this humanoid creature has run off down the street, and she just falls to her knees and she is silently weeping. But that's what she remembers.
Miss girls, it is flesh. This grief that you feel, no.
Met with the silence. Yep.
Are you getting anything, Inspector?
Of the image that I am seeing, are the wounds of the dead body the same as what we were told?
There is an amount of red puffering around the neck.
Abydan is gonna just sit down at the foot of the bed with her. Freya, I think my friends are done asking their questions now. Yes?
For now.
No, not really.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves to this girl who is scared and crying and just woke up and her dad is dead.
I think
Don't-
that is.
You can't just sit on the end of the bed of somebody that you don't know. Hi, my name is Tilda, and this is Abydan. Now, Abydan, you can continue. We don't want to scare her.
I'm not going to ask her any more questions. I just wanted to reassure her that we're going to make sure she's safe and that we will see justice done. And that the best thing moving forward is for her to recover her strength. Any other
She's
objections
tiefling, right?
to talking?
Yes, she is tiefling.
I don't remember this. In Unbar Dune rules world, is it possible for, like, the father was a tiefling too, right?
Mhm.
That is correct.
And the only other tiefling in town is the sheriff.
Also correct, yeah. Well, I mean,
Mm.
maybe the only, but like,
The only one that we've seen.
right.
Are they the same color? You know, tieflings could be like,
Yeah. So Freya is also sort of a light burgundy.
Mm.
it is interesting. Father, I have a question for you. A pregunta, because I don't remember the French word for question.
Just
Yes.
with an accent.
Yeah, question.
There we go.
The sheriff, where does she live? I
Oh
light a
yes,
cigarette.
our new good grief. Our new sheriff lives in the soldiers' quarters where her office is. It is in one of the 4 watchtowers here within the town.
Interesting. And you
How-
say you specify new. You make sure that we recognize that she is new.
How recent has she taken on this position?
Sorry to interrupt, but perhaps we should take this outside of the child's room.
Yeah, perhaps you should be quiet.
Abydan's right. We should continue the talk of unwholesome things outside.
You use this word unwholesome. There is no hole in here.
I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah,
it's
we-
kind of cramped in here.
I feel like that's the best thing to do for Freya.
Yeah, so all of us
We could always
except-
walk back in.
Yeah.
Did the father and the assistant leave as well?
Yes.
They don't go
I look at
for-
Freya when I'm just alone by her, and I say, "Trust nobody. Everyone's out to get you. Understand?
Says the man who is.
We are going to protect you. We're going to find who did this. We're going to protect you, child. Yes, but of course, and you need to listen to me, child. Get some sleep, get some rest."
Never trust anybody,
And I
especially
disappear.
someone who changes his.
If I really wanted to invest in this child, I would cast darkness and disappear, but I'm just going to walk out.
Okay, please tell me that Buddy is actively, every time he goes into a stage whisper, is taking off a fake mustache to go.
No,
into
it's,
his
I
role.
said in the last episode, I spent like the days growing, like they're growing the actual
Oh, yeah.
mustache.
So is the stage whisper just you speaking into our heads then? Because you're telepathic?
Yes, she hears this in her head.
Oh God!
Dude, don't trust anybody.
First,
Henry
she has
Cavill
a
said so.
strange man sit on the end of her bed. She had another strange man get close to her and ask questions as
Hey.
soon as she woke up.
Yeah.
I didn't get
A
close.
drunk halfling.
I just invaded her dreams.
Oh no! I was talking about Quincy,
Oh.
just being
I
right up next to
am
her.
a drunk halfling. Anyway,
No,
I
that's me.
understand. But anyway,
Wait, that's me. I'm drunk.
that was a joke. So continuing the conversation with the father. So how exactly new was this sheriff?
Yes. Goldhorn has only been here a few months.
And the murders
Maybe-
started after that.
Yes.
Mm.
That is how time works. Where
To be fair,
if someone starts a
sure-
new job 2 months ago and murders happened within the past
They're
5
always-
days,
Mm.
They're always at
Mhm,
fault.
mhm, mhm.
to be
So,
fair,
There was
you-
always a loophole.
So
I
what
just
you are
was not
telling
paying
me?
attention.
everything crazy only started happening on what,
So what you are
11
telling
days
me?
ago? So
One day.
yes,
He's
but
dead.
everything weird started happening
These
after
new
Freya
sheriff
was
arrives.
born. You know, like there's a whole
2
Never mind.
months is different than multiple years.
So what you're telling me is that this big city sheriff, this police woman, this guard, she comes in. She goes into this small town. She is trying to make a name for herself. And she tries to figure things out, and then eventually people start going missing, turning up dead. A murder in a small town which has not seen much violence before, no? And then, who should turn up but a tiefling, but the child, one who looks as her, one who has the same skin tone as her, who she might look down and see in herself, the child who she once was, an orphan. And she seeks pity. And now we are
Or
closing
maybe
in on
we
the case.
should go examine the bodies.
And now what, Chaz?
Yeah, oui.
You were on such a great track, and now we close the case.
What are you saying?
No, he's closing in. He's closing
No,
in.
and now we continue the case. We are closing in. They are a fly trapped in the web, and me,
the
the
proverbial
spider.
noose is tightening.
There is no proverbial noose. I am a literal spider. And I cast spider climb on myself and I climb up the walls.
I've seen you do that before. I know you're not.
I'm not going to do
spider.
that because I don't want to waste a spell
Right,
slot.
that
I'm not
would
going
be
to do
your
that because I
second
don't want to
But
waste
and
for
a
the
spell
last
slot.
bit.
spell slot.
For the
I'm
bit.
not. No,
that's
telepathic
once.
is
Yeah,
once a
that's right.
day. Detect thoughts.
For
That's
the
still-
I
bit.
used that one.
For the
Okay.
bit.
So we have a little bit of
No,
a conundrum
I do it and then I
here.
go. I do it, then I go. But we must wait an hour.
I need the rest. I feel tired.
I must take a short rest.
We're never going to solve this case.
We already solved the case.
Let's get to the
Well,
mall.
we won't ever get out of this hallway.
Sorry.
All right.
You can search for secret passages if that pleases you, but I would like to examine the bodies.
Yes,
I
you guys
personally
are
would like to talk to the witnesses.
The
okay.
witnesses are not.
We can do both.
Awake.
Uh-huh.
Is the
Oh, that's true.
It's still
The
night.
dead people are asleep, so we can go look at them.
That's
I
somewhat
figured-
true, but you guys should probably also sleep at some point.
We can
we
sleep,
can sleep in
when
the
we're
monastery.
dead.
We can take sanctuary here.
I do have a question.
As Chaz has brought out his toy pipe. Yes.
It's not a toy pipe, it's a real pipe.
Oh, it's really nice.
Using
Uh,
for smoking pipe things.
Is there there's a room that the preacher has, right? It's just his room, his bedroom.
Yeah.
Is it nearby?
Yeah, it's the next door down.
Is the door open?
No.
Is he distracted?
He can be.
No.
You, Bazel, show me your chambers.
That'll distract him.
Sure. Why, good inspector, do you need to see my private chambers? I thought we were heading to the morgue.
We will in a moment, but I have to eliminate you from my suspect list.
You can learn a lot about a man from his underwear drawer.
You may. We.
All right, very well. I have nothing to hide, so please do come in.
The preacher, what like is he? Is he human?
Half elf.
Half elf. Okay. Does he have a desk?
No, his room is actually very plain. There is no desk. It is just a bed and a closet that you can open up and see that there are very simple brown and tanned robes that are in there.
Under the bed?
Under the bed, you find something that is very ordinary to be found under the bed. You find a lot of dust bunnies and stuff.
Oui. And then I go, but of course I expected to find the skeletons in the preacher's closet. And as I open up the closet door, I cast minor illusion. There's a skeleton in there.
His eyes get visibly wide.
You try to hide from me. I do. I want to make a deception check. I want to see if he like freaks out.
He's going to make an investigation roll to see if he can see that it's an illusion. Those things would probably happen simultaneously.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
My spell save is 14. What is it? Minor illusion is intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deception. That is a That's a 10, but I get plus
Guidance.
6.
Mine is a 22.
Ooh.
I
As
rolled
you
a
can
19
see.
on the die.
Yes, but of course. And
It
then,
is spooky season.
I knew I could trust you.
Fam, while they're doing this, can you show us to the morgue?
Yes, please.
Would prefer to observe while they investigate.
Certainly.
All right, fam, let's go.
Ferriman just very quietly leads you guys down the hall, and you notice that there are a couple doors that were sort of left open down the corridor that have now since been closed. Doors of bedrooms where there was a significant amount of noise that was coming from the hallway where people are trying to sleep and everything. So people just shut their doors to not really hear anything. You guys are able to make it down to the morgue. It is underneath that first level, and it does look like some sort of reconstructed wine cellar. However, whenever you guys arrive down there, you guys are going to be shown where there is a very large table that has been placed down there that has the bodies laid over it.
All the bodies of the victims?
That is correct. All 6 are lined up next to each other.
I would like to cast Detect Magic, please, on
Yes.
the bodies. I want to know if it was actually strangulation or if it was, you know what, something else.
A little magical string.
Magical rope.
As you cast
Me
Detect
doing it.
Magic, just waving your
And
hands.
Tilda
up.
truly just waves her hands like,
Oh, it's like watching Fantasia.
yeah. They'll never suspect I'm
For
doing
the
anything.
listeners who can't see the crazy dance that Tilda just did, it was
I am-
twerking mixed with the YMCA.
Yes. That's
Yes.
exactly what it
Were you
looked
shaking
like.
your... Were you twerking?
No, that was a me joke because you weren't describing what it was that you were doing.
Flask. I could not, for the life of me, remember what the term flailing arms was until the second.
Yeah, there it is. All right, as you flail your arms
So what is the
around,
magic?
you detect no magic down here. However, you do see someone who also is raising their hands, flailing them about as though swatting at cobwebs, who is down there, who looks almost like a mad scientist.
I'm just gonna ignore him.
Don't ignore
And,
the mad scientist.
I'm gonna go examine the bodies.
Bodies first.
Bodies.
Okay, so, let's... all right. So the mad scientist looking guy opens the door for you guys and has let
The
you
poor
in.
dude.
Yeah, he's the mortician.
Sounds like he's in charge.
Which means you should speak to him first.
Before touching any bodies.
But he's gonna
We're
stop
an
you.
outside investigation.
He's gonna stop you, Abydan, before you get to the bodies, and he's just gonna go off on you for a second.
Or
What is it do you think you're doing, trying to touch all the evidence of the bodies?
first off, we're running an investigation. Second off, I'm a trained medical professional. I know what I'm doing. Third off, my name is Abydan. It's nice to meet you. Let's start cordially again. I'm in no mood. Little girl lost her father.
Well, I'm also not in any sort of mood in order to have people coming down here to my makeshift morgue to try and figure out what happened to these poor innocent souls. In the middle of the night, casting magic willy-nilly, and then
It's just
approaching...
dancing.
You were also down here. In the morgue. I look around. Is there a bed in the morgue? Because otherwise, he's also down here at night.
Yeah, he's like doing autopsy. Like,
So his hands are currently covered in guts, flashing them all about.
yes.
It's a
He's
good
a
thing
mad
I'm
scientist.
immune to disease. Otherwise, that would be a bit unsanitary. And honestly, a bit unprofessional of a mortician.
Well, the door was closed, Abydan.
And he was doing his job, no?
Oh, Inquisitor Jacques, when did you get here?
I've been here the whole time.
Hmm.
The door was open.
It was not. It was closed.
No,
No.
when you came in, it was open.
Now, Mr. Mortician,
Yes.
what is your name?
My name is Friar Finney.
Friar Finney. Well, hello. I am Quincy, and by order of Lord Dellen, we have come to assist in the investigation. Before we ask to see the bodies, what have you found so far?
It looks to be some sort of strangulation.
Are all of them the same?
Yes, that is correct.
And did they all seem to be done with the same pair of hands or instruments?
Yes, it does look as though that these were done by the hands of an actual killer.
Any signs
be
of
pretty
self-defense on
small.
the victims?
I mean, pretty large to be able to strangle all these different types of people,
Mm-hmm.
especially if one was a tiefling and a turtle.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. Abydan, you asked if there had been any signs of self-defense. Friar Finney isn't 100% sure what you mean by that. If you're meaning skin under the fingernails or broken wrist, anything like that, the answer is no.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you say this is strangulation, no?
Yes,
It is physical?
yes.
Is there any possibility that it was done with, pause for dramatic effect, necromancy?
Necromancy, what do you mean by that line of inquiry,
There are
detective?
There are certain types of people who draw powers from the dead, no? And those sorts of wizards, spellcasters, arcane users, they have been sometimes known to cast a spell which will strangle people. Maybe even call it a third level spell called strangulation.
No, it does not appear to be done by magical means.
Yeah, but of course.
DM,
Yes.
can we examine the bodies now? If you would guide us through it, please.
I guess if you're on the payroll of our good Lord Dellen,
We
Yeah.
really appreciate it, Friar Finney.
Thank you.
there is something I should warn you of. That there is something that is rather graphic about all of these that I haven't been able to make heads or tails of as of yet.
He pulls the sheet off of the first victim, Kindy Jane, aged 48, who has had their eyes removed. Visible strangulation marks are seen around the neck. The second victim, the female elven seamstress, Heron Thulbright, aged 29, has had her ears removed. Then the third victim, the female human soldier, Polly Grandswar, aged 52. Her body looks mostly intact until Father Finney moves her chin down, and you can see that her tongue has been removed.
See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, no?
Hear no, speak no, ear no, spear no, but speak no.
Are we
ever.
sure these murders do not have religious
There
meanings
seems to
behind them,
be-
or is somebody trying to create their own person?
Yeah, there seems to be a ritualism behind it, huh?
What's wrong with the fourth victim?
Or a serial killer keeping his mementos?
It seems more of a message.
The fourth victim, the male Aarakocra postal worker, Junus Flight Swan, age 19, has had eyes removed.
And the father of Freya, was anything removed?
That would be victim number 6. Thinerish Kraken has had his tongue.
Fifth victim
Oh, there
had
was
their
a
ears
pattern.
removed.
That is correct. The female turtle carpenter, Grinda Dellen, aged 80, had her ears removed. Yes, turtles have
Oh,
ears.
interesting to remove ears from a turtle when I did not know that they had ears. Does that make me a racist as well as a sexist?
Friar Finney,
Yes,
no signs of self-defense. Can you tell that if the eyes, ears, tongue, what have you, were they removed post-mortem or before the victim's struggle ceased?
from my greatest estimation, certainly it would be post-mortem.
Am I familiar with any stories, or whether religious or folktale or otherwise, of the significance of like eyes, ears, tongue, either being used by someone or by, I don't know, anything that sticks out there?
No, you are not familiar with any sort of specific,
Stories or
religious affiliation.
You bring up an interesting point. This is welcome to all religions, no?
Yes.
What about the god of death?
Oh, yes. Dark that Banin is.
There has been some speaking in out in the world. I'm a very well-traveled investigator, no? Of some happenings. Sorry, I pronounced my hard H instead of just the happenings there. It is of some of the god of death. Some changes in the world.
I personally do not associate myself with anything so dark.
But you are around death all the time, no? You are surrounded by death here.
Yes, but not in the religious affiliation. No, I only hope that these people are able to make their way to their swift afterlife.
In which afterlife would you want that to be?
Where all people go directly into the window.
Yes. We.
Friar Vinny.
I'm going to use my. I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts again.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep it surface level to see just how his thoughts go after me asking about God of Death and being surrounded by death.
Okay. His surface level thoughts are about completing the last autopsy here tonight so that he can get some rest. He wants to get back to doing what he was doing.
How long have you been working on these? These deaths began 11 days ago. No, why are you just not getting to the autopsies?
Didn't start happening 11 days ago. Just as a point of clarification, this is day.
Okay.
This would be day 6. Yeah.
Day 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
There's
I
been
was-
one
the
body
stuff
per day.
was,
One body per day.
Yeah.
Did they turn up in the morning?
Yes, that is correct.
They turn up in the morning. We have a curfew. Abydan,
in
I need to speak
just
to
a
you.
moment. I would like to do something with the rest of the autopsy first.
Oui.
Vinny,
Yes.
did you check them for signs of some kind of paralytic? If there was no evidence of them fighting back, no wounds of self-defense, they were either caught completely unawares, or they were made to hold against their will.
Or
If so,
it was
there would
from
be-
somebody that they knew and
Like
trusted.
a sheriff.
Either way, I would like to.
Unsuspecting.
I'm gonna cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Ooh, very good.
I'll take out a little U leaf. And
You
pop it in my
detect
mouth.
lupus on Buddy.
Oh my god. So I believe it works like Detect Magic, except it's poison and disease.
Yep, that's exactly right. You do detect several substances, one specific substance across all the bodies in there that has an injection mark. This injection mark would be previously hidden by the strangulation wounds. There's so much bruising and whatnot around the neck that it just looks like a flea bite or a mosquito bite on each of the victims' necks.
That explains it then. I'll go over to the wastebasket and spit the U leaf out.
Yep.
Can I identify it? It does say if I know the poison, I can identify it. And I am a trained medical person.
Make a medicine roll.
I trained for this.
Yes, we call him Dr. Queen Medicine Woman.
19. 14 plus 5. I don't know if we do that, but 14 plus 5.
All right. With your detecting of poison, it isn't actually a poison per se. It's actually embalming fluid.
who would have access to it except for a mortician.
Or any of the friars who potentially work in this monastery and have access to the morgue.
Before I reveal this information, I'll turn to Finney and I'll go, Finney, just an offhand question. Have supplies for the preparing of the dead in this temple been disappearing recently?
I assure you, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And he reaches up his right hand and he scratches his neck. At that, with your detect poison still going off, you can see that there is a portion of his sleeve where he or someone else has actively wrapped his arm as though it's in a bandage.
I still have detect thoughts up.
Yeah. His surface level thoughts have now since shifted to his little private chest where all of the ingredients for embalming and for purification and any other sort of medicine would be in. That's here in the room.
Telepathic. That to everybody.
Quincy was already getting nervous that his mood suddenly shifted, and he just puts his hand on the dagger on the back of his belt, but doesn't do anything yet.
Oh, Mr. Finney, mind if we look at that hand of yours?
He extends his left hand.
I mean your right hand.
He extends his right hand. As he extends his right
cut it off.
hand. Oh my god.
And I cut Buddy's head off, and then Abydan cuts my hand off.
And the only survivor is Tilda.
I only have piercing damage. I'm obscuring.
This is the worst game of Zip Zap Zop I've ever played.
Dang, got him.
Anyway.
He extends his right hand.
He extends his right hand, and Abydan, you are able to see that underneath his robes there is a white tunic, and that his entire arm has been bandaged up.
It's in my brain because it doesn't take concentration. Divine sense on him?
Neither consecrated nor desecrated.
Is he fiend, undead, or
Celestial? No. Nor fiend or undead. Yeah, no.
Okay, well, at least
Does he detect Fey on me?
It's not a... Yeah.
Oh.
I misread it one time. Yeah. Anyway, unbandaged it, please.
He does remove the bandages. And is your detect poison still going?
Yeah, it lasts up to 10 minutes. It's concentration.
Perfect. You notice that there are several what look to be mosquito bites all over his forearm. You would understand that these would not necessarily be mosquitoes, but rather injection points.
Do they look self-administered?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Abydan,
Tell us what's
with
going
your
on,
with
Finney.
your well, I'll save you a step there. With your intuition as well as your medicine check that you got a minute ago, you can likely tell the injection would have been of the same embalming fluid. Can you make an insight roll for me, please?
Absolutely. If I remember.
Hilda, guidance him.
Guidance.
I don't want to break concentration on my detect thought.
Oh, I forgot you were doing that. Sorry. I think I'm distracted by the lack of eyeballs and a man who is clearly insane.
12 plus 3 plus 5.
12 plus 3 plus 5, 20.
Mod 20. It's sir.
Cool. With a mod 20, you are able to, you sort of rack your brain that embalming fluid is used as a poison that induces paralysis, but you also know that in microdoses, it can be used for getting high.
Oh,
Rogie.
playing D&D has taught me a lot about the world.
Is he huffing? Is he a huffer? Are you a dirty dog addict?
Proper, that's for sure.
But that doesn't explain his connection with the bodies.
So tell me and the rest of us, Penny, who else has access to the embalming fluid aside from you?
It would just be myself and Father Unicat.
Well, I cleared him.
Never trust a man in cloth.
How long have you been using?
It has been an ongoing issue that I have had.
Well then, let me help you with that. And I'll grab his shoulder really strong, and I will use lay on hands to immediately cure him of his poison, which in this case is the embalming fluid.
I thought you were going to say that you use lay on hands to cure addiction, and that wasn't going to work.
No.
But
I cast
yeah.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
The most
A
powerful
12-step
spell.
program spell to cure him of his addiction.
Like it to be known that 12-step programs work for some people. They are not for everyone. Anyways.
The only 12 steps I need is the one that's on the clock, so I can tell what time it is.
The only 12 steps I need are 11 to get to you and then 1 to punch you.
Oh, you're a monk.
You realize that it was a bad joke as you were saying it, and it
Double
just
down.
trailed off. It was pretty rough.
That was not good.
But
The only 12 steps I need are the ones to my toilet so I can look in and see the shit that you just told.
Why would I put it in your toilet?
Because you drove here, you knocked on my door, you said, "Hey Chaz, it has been a while since I have seen you." I bet, "Jason, what is up, my man?" You're like, "I really have to take a shit." And then you go and you write the joke on a piece of paper, maybe a CVS receipt of some kind, and then you drop it in my
It's a long
toilet
joke.
and you go, "Sorry to ditch early, I have to go take care of my child." And I'm like, "Oh, that's okay, that's a little weird, but then I'm going to not think much of it. I'm going to go on my day, and then about 6 hours later, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then I'm going to look down and I'm going to see the receipt with that has written on it, all I need is 12 steps. I'll never talk it to you, and I want to punch you in the face."
you follow her dead because that joke killed him.
And that,
Oh.
listeners, is the end of our episode.
I-
Because of next
Now, we got 5 minutes. We
I
got
take
5 minutes.
1 point of psychic damage and had disadvantage on my next attack.
Tell me what happens with this man.
Oh my gosh. That was wonderful.
The only inaccurate thing is I don't swear.
That's true.
That was
Sure.
an embellishment on my part. The only one, I might add.
The only one.
Everything else completely true.
Love the concept that that's based on a true
Oh.
story that's happened.
Prove me wrong.
You cannot.
Okay. So Noah, you are able to cure disease that would be immediately present, but there is none immediately present.
He doesn't have embalming fluid running through him right now.
Correct.
All right. And then sensing that, I'll just be like, at least you're not getting high right now with our murders are about.
So, whenever we have discovered that he is some sort of addict and that we know that he and the father are the only two that have access to this, does he get nervous at all? Or, like, is he just...
Incredibly. He is incredibly nervous. Father Unicat has zero idea of what is happening with Friar Finney.
Bozel, do me a favor, will you?
Certainly.
Go and investigate his chest. I want you to look and see what is inside.
Yeah. Roll for investigation, I guess.
I want him to do it, though.
Oh, you want him?
I'll
You
lean
want
over
him to do it?
on his shoulder. If it's
Yeah.
down here.
I want him because I don't want him to think that we're tampering with
Right.
anything or trying to like make sure. And if something is in there, then it's good like for
him to have discovered it
someone to
himself.
see who is in us.
If it's
Yeah.
down here, I'll just kind of give him a shove in that direction. Kind of pivot him with his shoulder.
Okay. He opens up the chest.
Is there a lock on it?
Yes. Yeah. Inside the chest, you are able to see that there is your normal standard medical equipment, a few scalpels, fresh cloth, that sort of stuff. There'd be alcohol inside of it. And you would see that there are these vials of this yellowish fluid. They're labeled in common for embalming. And you can see that there are about 10 vials that are not accounted for. But you're also able to see that there are several syringes that are not accounted for.
How many track marks or mosquito bite looking things do we see on his arm?
Right.
Oh, about 6. Yeah.
I was hoping it would be fair.
Right. But I'm sure that you could inject partial bottles, right? I don't know.
Or he could just have a affinity towards needles and want to stab himself a couple times.
Hey, tattoos.
Well, there's obviously some major connection that we are missing.
It is a sheriff! I say in telepathically.
Regardless
Finny.
of them being, I say this back in teleportation.
Yeah, teleportation.
Hey, yo, girl.
Hi.
Hey, yo, you got those good potatoes?
I'm so tired.
Teleportate me up.
It has to be someone, regardless of them being paralyzed and unconscious, it still has to take someone a pretty significant amount of strength to strangle somebody. Now, it makes it easier if they're paralyzed. Does this mortician who has a drug program look like he can strangle them? Or does the Father Friar, whatever his name is,
Father Friar Farum or Unicat.
look more likely to be able to strangle
Do that.
people with
Can
access?
Can I investigate them both and see if one of them would be stronger?
Can I size them up? Can they bench more than me?
I mean,
I'll use
essentially.
I'll use my fighter skill, that one where I can just like gauge people's strength when looking at them.
So, Friar Finney looks like he's human, and he looks like Miracle Max from The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah.
So he sounds like Nantucket.
No, I said he
No.
looks like.
I know, but Nantucket is based off of Miracle
Yes,
Max.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, what about the father?
You tell me this guy's jacked.
He looks like a 5-foot-ish Liam Neeson.
Now, is that...
We talking Schindler's List, Liam Neeson. We talking about Qui-Gon. We talking about Taken. We talking
about
about The
Darkman?
Gray.
Or him
talk-
and the whale? No, wait, that was Brendan Fraser.
Oh, I
Yep.
was like,
There.
Yep, that was Brendan Fraser.
Good try.
That is the first time that anyone has ever confused Brendan Fraser with Liam Neeson.
That's called a joke.
I missed it.
Where's the joke? I can't hear it.
It's in
The
Chaz's
joke is-
toilet. It's in Chaz's toilet.
Can-
All I
The
need is
CVS
12
wow.
steps, 11 to get the joke and 1 to go,
Oh,
Very
man.
particular set of skills.
The more that we quote it differently, the funnier it's going to be to me.
Anyways,
So Friar is pretty jacked. How is the Friar reacting to us being all suspicious?
Is Liam Neeson jacked?
yeah, he's like, dude, I have nothing to hide, except for the obvious drug problem.
Can I? What about the father? What is his reaction? I can roll for insight if you want.
I mean, he's not down there with you guys.
The father just opened the box, didn't he?
That's Friar Finney.
I thought you instructed
You're-
Friar
you're
Finney to
talking
open the
about
box.
Friar-
No, I instructed the father.
Yeah, that's why. I was
Oh,
confused
Father
why.
Unicat. You instructed
I
Father
thought he was down
Unicat
here
to do
with
it.
us.
No, Father Unicat is
Yeah.
not down there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go try and find him.
what about the guy who kind of follows Father Unicat around? I say,
Farum.
can I
No.
return a telepath message if we kept a line open?
I'm going to
Right,
send a
it's whispered.
telepathic message to Tilda. Looks like you want to say something. What's up?
What about that other guy that trails around the Father? All these people are also up really late.
The one that let us be in Quincy down here.
What time is it?
It's like 2 in the morning.
Whoa!
It's the middle of the night.
It's like 2 in the morning?
Yeah, he kept saying we should go to sleep, and I was like, these people are awake, and then they have bodies in the morning.
that time
Somebody.
progressed way faster.
Yeah, well,
You
here we are.
guys
Oh.
arrived after sundown. It's like 2 in the morning. Yeah, no, people are asleep.
The people doing murders, like the friars.
But Tilda did ask, what is Friar Fairman? What does he look like? She does make a good point.
Yeah.
He's like the father's right-hand man, so
Yeah, and he's a really tall and lanky fellow.
probably has.
He's a really tall, lanky fellow. Now, he is down there with you guys because he led you guys down the stairs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I said that to
Yeah.
Buddy via my mind.
My mind.
Okay, so Quincy will leave the morgue, both uncomfortable from being around the bodies and just curious about where the father is and what he's up to. So my immediate thought is that he might be with Freya. I don't know, but I'll try and find him.
Okay.
I'll go with Quincy because I don't want to let Quincy be on his own because Quincy can get hurt a lot.
All right. The two of you make your way back upstairs to where the bed chambers are on the second floor.
Unicut's room is next to Freya's, so Fairman is probably next to him. I would assume logically.
That is correct.
What do we
And when
find Unikit doing?
Father Unikit is asleep. You knock on his door, and he gets up. He is wearing his night clothes, and yeah, he opens the door.
Father Unikit, you'll be pleased to hear that we have uncovered some evidence involving these murders, and it was so important that I thought that you wouldn't want to wait until the morning.
Yes, very well.
So essentially, the victims were being injected with a specific fluid that only you and the friar down in the morgue had access to. Now, don't you think that's intriguing that the, murdered people were injected with a fluid that you have access to?
Yes, certainly. That is rather concerning.
Yes, quite. Is he more nervous concerned or just like appalled concerned?
Appalled concern. Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anyone else aside from you and Friar Finney who would be able to access Friar Finney's personal stocks of embalming fluid?
No, not that I'm aware of. But we did just do a large resupply of all of the medical necessities that Friar Finney requested us get. Yeah, we just did a full restock not 2 weeks ago.
Who is in charge of deliveries and such?
All medical deliveries would have come from the capital. And by extension, then our local sheriff would have been the one to bring them in.
You're pretty strong, Father. I can see by your build, you look pretty like you could handle yourself.
I am a man of the cloth. I am not allowed to have personal relationships.
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Squeeze my arm, please.
What?
I'm gonna test his strength. I'll lean
This
into
is-
it if it's.
You heard the man, Louis Serre.
Inquisitor, what are you doing here?
I am telepathic. 60 feet.
2 floors up.
That is less than 60 feet.
They're solid stone.
It is less than 60 feet.
Oh.
He will grip your arm with a decent amount of strength.
A murderous amount, or like let's not beat around the bush here.
It could
Maybe-
easily crush a tomato. It is not strong enough to crush a watermelon. It's
Is he
somewhere in
roughly-
that range.
Is he roughly around my strength? My strength is
Yeah.
16. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were meaning you, Jason. I was like, I
Is he
don't know
a-
how to answer.
Is he
I'll fight you
adjacent?
right now. You tell me.
Is he adjacent to your threat?
Hey,
Just give
as
me
long
11
as long as I'm 12 steps away, I'm okay.
Okay. So he's strong enough to kill someone. Okay. I feel like this is level capped for brains, and my brain is not high enough level for this.
Oh no, I set the difficulty challenge rating too high. All right, cool. Tilda and Jacques, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to look at Tilda and I'm going to say, turn into a mouse and follow me. Oh, wait. You won't be able to. And I turn invisible. Can you turn into a mouse still?
Yeah.
I say.
Before I turn into a mouse, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace on both of us.
I'm going to put her as a mouse in my invisible pocket.
I am a little mouse. Oui.
And I am going to go to the barracks where the sheriff is sleeping.
She's not there. She's out murdering.
Somebody's out murdering. Maybe we'll see him.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think that's where we're going to
Bye,
call
Friar Finney. Don't
this.
kill anybody
Yeah,
while
I
we're
was going to say
gone,
bye
just
to,
in case.
to Friar Finney.
No.
Just watches me turn into a mouse and goes, wee wee.
I am
Floats
away.
and then goes poof.
And then he hears a residual voice in his head that says, "You saw nothing."
He really this is like the weirdest trip he's had in a minute. Literally.
He fell down.
I'm gonna have the worst come down of my life.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's what
better
we're going to
call
call tonight's episode. And hey, thank you so much for listening, listener. And we will see you on the next one.
Help.
Hello again. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We sure hope that you enjoyed today's episode and will continue listening as the story continues. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Or if you're listening elsewhere, be sure to drop a review on the app of your choice. If you would like to follow us on social media, you can find us at bardoon.adventures. That is BARDUN.adventures. If you enjoyed the music featured in this podcast, you might consider contributing to the creator's Patreon at Drinker the Bard. That's DRINKARD, the Bard. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.